Halloween 2018. Caleb first saw it without me because he's a turd. And then and then we watched it together. And I could tell in the theater he enjoyed it, but he wasn't that impressed. But he was holding back his critiques and everything just so that way I could get a fresh take on it. So I appreciate that. But I think we both really liked the movie. It's just it
Oh yeah.
stayed pretty high for me, and then it dropped for you.
Yeah, I mean, so with 2018, thinking about how long it had been since the last connection to the original Halloween franchise and all that, they did a good job. Nobody can. If you think that this is absolutely terrible and the worst attempt to make a Halloween sequel, obviously have not seen half the movies, but it's by no means the worst. In my personal opinion, it's not the best sequel, but I can see why people make the case for it. I do enjoy it. I have a lot of fun, but there are quite a few drawbacks. I do think it's a good enough story to build upon with the two more sequels. I am a little worried about things falling flat. Unlike John, I watched the new Halloween Kills trailer that dropped 2, 3 days ago, something like that.
Yep.
No more spoilery than the original trailer, unless you haven't seen the middle trailer, then it's spoilerific. But no, that looks like a gore fest compared to this. This is still serviceable, enjoyable, and honestly, it's one of two Halloween films I have as digital as well. You know, got that combo pack going on. I got lucky when I found it. It was only like $10. It hadn't been released too long either. I don't know if it was like a missed mark or like a weekend deal or something at Target, but I got it for pretty cheap, so that was
Yeah,
cool.
man. I don't think I paid full price, but I paid up there. I might have paid full price.
No.
For me, I think for some people the reason, and maybe they don't think of this, and maybe I'm just making stuff up, but I think that the reason 2018 dropped so hard for a lot of people is that over time, like most of the time when people saw Halloween 4, unless you saw it like in the theater, if you saw it later in life, like 10 years removed or whatever, like we did, it's kind of got uh, there's a word for it. I had it a second ago and then I forgot. It's kind of quirky, right? Like there's little fun moments in it. There's like, really good moves by Michael Myers and things like that. I just think since they're kind of quirky, you learn to love them for the flavor of their movies. Each movie has a flavor. Halloween 6 might have some weird ways they went about things, but the flavor of it's mean and rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
5 is kind of gothic and kooky. And 4 is like a return back to the original, but it's kind of a B plus attempt at it. But it's got some really good character fun moments. It's the first time where you really get to see Michael and Loomis come head to head without like an actual fight, really. So yeah, I think that's why this one drops. I mean, it's good. I just think there, and also, I mean, Donald Pleasance isn't in this one. I think if he was in this movie and had they toned down Laurie Strode a little bit, I think it would be a lot better.
So don't get me wrong, it's not very many people I see give this movie extreme amounts of hate, but there are a few, and I feel like for an attempt without Loomis, it's better than Resurrection. Um, for an attempt past the reboot, it's stellar. Especially when they first announced we're going back to the original, I'm pretty sure every horror fan, every Halloween fan kind of went, we've seen this before. We saw, and we talked about this last week. Texas Chainsaw Massacre does it this many times and
And
will
it always
continue to
did it
do it.
first.
And they really did, and they don't get the credit for it. Now everybody calls it, we're going to give it the Halloween treatment. No, 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 no. You are going to give it the Leatherface treatment. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it, I think that with what we had in the time, it is actually kind of perfect There's a little bit of the wholesome. There's a little bit of the innocence. There's also, they took tips from the sequels and the reboot about how menacing Michael Myers can become without diving all the way into the supernatural and Man in the Black Coat and all that stuff. And I think that that makes this version of Michael Myers really pop. And The Mask is, when it was first released, I thought it was a fantastic sculpt, but I was annoyed because that's not how latex rots. As somebody who's collected masks since I was a little kid, I know how latex rots. I know how it turns. It does not wrinkle like skin. Halloween 2007 had a much better approach. Still not accurate, but better looking for what it was going for. This
In the
that
movie's
said,
defense, though, in the movie's defense, he could have been lying about where he got the mask.
well, also, what can I just go ask for evidence like that? Can I just walk up to like my attorney general and be like, "Hey, uh, can I have some of the weapons Mr. Ed Gein used? Can I just see them, please?" I don't think that's how that works. That's not how that works at all. Especially if you tell them you're doing a podcast, they're gonna kick you out.
Right. It's kind of
Like,
weird. Like, what do you even do with that stuff? It just sits back there for 50 years and just sits in a box. Like, is it like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where there's just like boxes and boxes everywhere of just like serial killer crap?
I was thinking Bride of Chucky.
Right. Well, yeah. Like,
Dude,
uh,
I don't know. I do think that he's a very menacing looking Myers, so that works. I can forgive The Mask. I know a lot of Halloween purists are on the fence about it. It's not my favorite mask, but it's definitely by far no means the worst.
oh, really? Because all I hear is people love the mask, and to be honest with you, yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like for some reason, to me, and maybe it's because Rob Zombie got there first, and I'm not trying to be weird about anything, but to me, it looks kind of bland. Like it just like, and that's probably good because it's once again it's void of personality of Michael Myers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it just kind of bland. Like I don't know why, but it doesn't catch the light as well as the original mask does. It doesn't have the nastiness of the second movie, same mask, just aged and whatnot. It's better
Yeah.
than 4 and 5, but I don't know what it is. I don't mind it. I just don't love it. I don't know. It's weird.
I think there's I think it's a good attempt at The Mask. I do think that they could have done a little better. I think they could have done far worse. Actually, in the Michael Myers mask community, I've seen a lot of people complain about this variant, and people wanted it to look more like um, that screen used one that's deteriorating and rotting. They thought that would look way scarier. And I mean, no and yes. I mean, to the general audience, no, it wouldn't look scarier. It'd look goofy. To somebody who's been around that stuff, it would look scarier because we know how it's supposed to look. Um, it's impactful. He
Something
also
something that
James
old
Dean
would
Courtney's
literally
presence.
fall off the face. Like he would try to put it on
Yeah.
and would just like
It would be hard in spots. It would be brittle in others. It would have tears at all of the creases and anywhere where he sweat. There would be thin spots with pinholes all over the place. The hair would not be as well connected as it is here, um, especially because anybody who has purchased a store-bought Michael Myers mask knows they glue the hair in rows and it falls out after first, second, maybe if you're lucky, third use, stuff starts to fall out. So I don't know.
yeah.
I think I'm on the fence. I enjoy it. I've watched it a lot. I still have problems with it, but I think I've also hit that age and that level where I can look at it and go, there's no way that they're going to top the original for me. That's just how it is. So I need to sit back and just enjoy all the films.
Right.
But I am still annoyed by Dr. Sartain. Super annoyed.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in the opening of the film, I was like, yes, we need another doctor. I like that they connected them. And then you get to that point in the movie and you're just like,
See, what
really?
what I kind of like is that it's not like what I hope is that Aaron survives this movie and he's in the second movie and he's the one with Laurie that like they know him, they maybe he's in the third movie, right? Like say Laurie dies in the
Yeah.
second movie and he's in the third movie and he's the one that's like I've done all the research, I'm a survivor, I was there, I saw maybe more of the hospital massacre that's probably going to take place in the second one. I think Aaron is the one. Like he's got the trench coat kind of look, he's got kind of a muffled hair. I don't know. I think the investigative, I think that's the one to latch on to. I actually like the other side of the coin of Dr. Loomis with being Sartain. Loomis knew he was evil and that was the end of it, needed to be gotten rid of. I like the idea of Sartain wanting to keep going further with him, see him in the wild. Like what makes him special? Like killing is what makes him special. I want to feel that, I want to see it. So I don't know. Part of me, and it's part of me just going with the movie because I like it and because me, if I like something, I try to make reasons why it works, and it's just one of the reasons why I think it works. But um,
I
but
don't
yeah,
know.
we'll actually get to the
It's
movie. I'm on the menu. We play chapters, setup, bonus.
hold on, let me get back there. Options. Here, let's go to menu. Please hold. All right, so I'm gonna hit chapters.
What? 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 Just hit play. What are you doing? Just go on play and hit play.
So when I put it in, it was on like chapter 18 because Blu-ray memory and all that.
All right. Well, then just like highlight chapter one then, and I'll do the same.
Hold on. For some reason, my remote's spazzing out. Give me a second here. All right, so I have chapter one highlighted on the Halloween 2018 Blu-ray. You on Blu-ray?
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Are we
Yep.
gonna try and sync it up?
Yeah. Well, yeah. 2018's, yeah, Danny McBride, David Gordon Green, obviously Jamie Lee Curtis, Nick Castle, for an instant, and James Jude Courtney, who I got a chance to meet after this movie came out. Super, super nice guy. Here we go in three, two, one, engage.
I love how you can hear a DVD or Blu-ray player go wee.
Yeah, I heard my.
It's like, wait, I'm being taken away from the menu.
Dude, my original Blu-ray player can hardly play Blu-rays anymore. It takes it forever to load. It can play DVDs. It can hardly do Blu-rays though.
Remember I told you that Blu-ray player I had? It was a first generation. My brother gave it to me. And it ate this disc. And it wouldn't play. It wouldn't do anything. So I knew that it was dead. It was done. So I literally meticulously took that Blu-ray player apart and got this disc back out of it because I was like, I'm already gonna have to buy a Blu-ray player. I'm not buying another copy of this as well.
It's awesome. I don't know, man. Part of me's thinking about selling the first half of the Scream Factory box I've got and buying them on 4K. But really, first five movies, they look good on Blu-ray. Like I just don't know how much better it needs to look. I don't know.
It's so Halloween 5 hooked me because additional footage. The
Right.
rest I have very little to no interest in. Um, the Halloween 1 art is cool. Halloween 2 bugs me because they didn't give the mask the right stretch. Halloween 3 box art looks pretty awesome. 4 is serviceable. 5 is actually like it like embraces that movie really well. So
It does.
I can't hear the movie either.
You're having hearing problems. I think you've got an ear infection.
No, I I'm so last night we went to that concert and I'm really tired because we didn't go to bed till like midnight, 1 o'clock.
Good Lord, man, on a school night? Are you crazy?
Yeah. And now tonight we're doing this. I am so tired.
You got to get that caffeine up in you.
Third one of the day.
I don't like that Sartain has an accent. It bugs me. It's like trying way too hard to be Loomis. That's the thing that bothers me. Like, don't make him the new Loomis, as Laurie calls it. Just I don't know. I don't like it.
That doesn't bug me as much as his push, his drive to show the evil. I feel like why would he wait this long to actually go that far? He could have figured out a way to have him bust out earlier. He could have figured out something else that,
That's what they
again,
should.
plot convenience.
That's what they should have done with this first movie was have Michael Myers trying to escape the entire building. Like they lock it down and yeah, Halloween Returns script. So they should have done. I
What's
feel
funny is I feel like people want more of the asylum vibe for a Halloween movie, and we're just not getting it.
yeah.
Like, I feel like it's talked about a lot in the Myers community.
Yeah.
I will say this, his mustache is on point.
Yeah. I was a student of Loomis. Like he's not that old, is he? Like I mean, I guess it's 40 years ago, so he's probably yeah. I guess. I guess.
Yeah.
When I remember, I think this like checkerboard thing was already there. Like they didn't make it. They just liked the shot of it.
I mean, it's kind of perfect.
Hmm.
This is a great intro to bring back kind of that terror vibe, whereas the last film that you should actually be relating to this is Halloween Resurrection and H2O, kind of the more 90s feel that wasn't so much terror as much as it was kind of fun.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
this
this is
is,
building the mystique of the character again,
yeah.
and the level of evil. Got the scar there on the neck from Lori. Love it. Good Lord, first 5 minutes and everybody in this movie's got an accent, like a thick accent. This dude's like early 40s trying to be 28. I felt bad because at the con we were at CryptoCon 2019, she was there, the other investigative journalist, and I feel bad 'cause she didn't have anybody in her line, and I always want to just talk to them, but I mean they're there to work, so I don't want to bug them. But I did want to talk to her. I just was kind of strapped.
Yeah.
I hit the big ones first, and then I just don't have extra.
Honestly, I want the kid's autograph.
I did too. I really did too. I felt bad. I didn't have any money for him either.
Yeah. I just want him to sign something that says clipping my nasty ass toenails.
Hmm. This would have been a good way too, like if he would have escaped in the asylum to kind of give some different characteristics to the surrounding
Hmm.
inmates, like once again going back to the old stuff where like Michael's controlling them a little bit through fear. That'd have been sweet.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I was expecting more out of this. Like I really like this scene. It's creepy. You know,
Yeah. I was expecting a lot more with the asylum, especially with how it was built up in the trailer.
hmm
Um, and I feel like they used a lot of this in the trailer to not give the movie away.
hmm
Um, but you know, it's very short lived. I enjoy the intro of the reinflating the decomposed pumpkin. Um, Still my favorite intro is Halloween 2, though. I don't care.
Oh yeah. It's hard to beat Halloween 2, man. I don't know what it is. I just don't care for the inflated pumpkin. It looks kind of silly to me. I would have done it the other way. I don't know. I get it that it's coming back to life. I don't know. I don't know why. It just looks kind of silly to me. It looks like blowing up a balloon. I know it's just, reverse decomposing, but I don't know why. It just doesn't do anything for me.
For
I don't
me,
know.
it's a nice nod back to the first, and that kind of helps set it up to where it's supposed to go in the timeline.
I think had they made it a little bit nastier, like some mold on it or something else like that, but it looks so clean that it just looks like a balloon to me. I don't know. I know I'm being overcritical, but I get why some people love it. I wish I loved it as much as other people. That's what probably frustrates me is like I'm glad you guys like it. I don't know why. Just it was cool in the theater because I knew what they were going for, but after that I was like, eh. What do you do in the next movie?
I
You just start with like the pumpkin and it's just like on fire.
No, we're gonna get the H2 treatment.
Yeah, skull.
Yeah, I don't care. That is one of the coolest parts of the Halloween 2 NECA.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I have three of those NECAs if you need one. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, I've got
Jackson
one
loves to
up
play with these.
there somewhere. Should be. I don't know. He's over there somewhere. He's still in the box.
You know this dude loves listening to himself.
He really does.
Like it's interesting because like this is something that almost sounds like a Loomis line, like blank, pale, emotionless. It
Yeah.
just sounds like this dude is like, patting himself on the back so much that it's not scary. It's not building anything. He just sounds like he's trying to sell a story.
Yeah.
But that was a Loomis line if I've ever heard it. Camera.
I, I
Investigative
don't know. We got
journalist.
to talking about the difference between this and Halloween H2O Lori. And part of me still does favor the H2O Lori. I do see this as realistic and as an option and all that, but I don't know. I feel like based on the first film and even Halloween 2, um, her characterization works better in H2O, and H2O feels like a better end so far for like the whole franchise, but we'll see what happens with ends.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, it does seem like she was justified in preparing her entire life for when Michael escapes because at the end she saves her family, she's victorious. Not that it's okay to torture everybody for 20, 30, 40 years, whatever it is, 40, well, 35, whatever, how old her kid is anyway. But yeah, in the other one, she's just hiding and she's scared, and so there's like John figures out that holy crap, this is real, this is happening, but really there's no payoff with that. This has a bit more payoff when it comes to the sacrifice over the years of sanity and everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it is hard for me to believe somebody would go this nuts from one night, but at the same time, people go this nuts for no reason at all. They just
Yep.
watch too much Fox, CNN, and whatever else.
I won't lie. I like her little Nissan hardbody pickup truck. Love
You
those
would,
trucks.
you would. She spent all her money on guns. She couldn't buy a Toyota.
Hey, nothing wrong with a Nissan hardbody. They last just as long.
Her
They just
fireplace
don't
just
hold their
eats
value.
up that room. Look at that thing.
Hmm.
God dang. Look at those couches, man. Those couches are straight up 1985.
Somehow the kitchen looks like 20 years newer than the
It
than the
does.
rest of the house.
It does.
And that's with wallpaper.
I love that they're just throwing out titles. Boogeyman, Michael Myers, The Shape. Like, damn, like I feel bad she lets him in and she just like rips him apart and tells him to get out. Like, and they were kind of stupid to ask her about the daughter stuff. But like she took 3 grand to talk to him for 5 minutes and kicked him out.
I mean, I would take payment for a 5 minute conversation. Three
Yeah.
grand?
I love how strong she is though. Like it's very I mean, 40 years is a long time between movies, but she's so strong in this movie, you know, like in the first one she was a little timid. I don't know. I do buy that this is the same character, but as far as Scream Queens, Final Girls, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, phenomenal.
No.
Like, okay, as investigative journalists, you tact. Like, you're not going to talk about like kids getting taken away and stuff like that in such a stupid roundabout. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop popping your collar. You're over 40.
Also, why are you trying to convince her to go see him so you can get the story when that's obviously what you're doing? Like, you're not going to get that in a 5 minute conversation. You should know better.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he thought since they're transferring him, last ditch effort to move on, and $3,000 maybe push her that way. I don't know.
I actually like him. Like, a lot of people complain, but I actually find him to be a very dad like character.
You know what? In this entire movie, with all the callbacks, you know what the biggest mistake in this movie was? He
Hmm.
says here in a minute, or no, later on, he goes, "I know jujitsu, blah blah blah." When Michael Myers, he should have rolled up in front of the cop car and he should have locked eyes with him and he should have tried one of those hi-ya moments like Buster Rhymes. Michael should have caught him in midair and broke him in half. You know what I'm saying? Like that was such a missed opportunity. When he said, "I know jujitsu," I thought at the end of this movie we'd see somewhere Michael would just destroy him.
Yeah, I think that that would be too on the nose just because
Oh,
he
bro,
mentions the jiu-jitsu thing.
so this whole movie's on the nose.
Yet you complain when I talk about bringing Danielle Harris in. That's too far, but
It
we'll let
doesn't
him do the
work.
karate.
It's
Neither
detached.
does actually doing karate.
Well, like he didn't. No, no, no. I'm saying like he does one Hayah move where he like tries to kick him, and that's it. Like just some funny little, and then Michael just shuts it down instantly. It's a 2 second scene.
That's too much.
No, he just comes up behind him
Yeah.
and chokes him out. It's a lame kill.
I would I would rather have Danielle Harris in this movie than that moment.
Well, okay, but still, I'm just saying, as far as this movie goes, they set it up for like a beautiful spike in volleyball, and then they just kind of let it go over the net instead of
Uh-oh.
slamming it. What's crazy is yeah, God darn it, I knew I was gonna
Somebody's
forget her
losing
name.
connection. I don't know if it's you or me.
Uh-oh, I think it's you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's that?
You weren't
What's that?
there for like 5 minutes.
What was the? I can't remember the daughter's name now in real life, but she's in a movie called Son where she has a kid. Like, dang, like they need to hurry up and shoot ends before this gal is like Jamie Lee Curtis's age.
I thought Ends was already shot.
No, it's not.
From what I read, originally they filmed it back to back with kills.
They didn't. I bet my beard to your beard that they didn't.
You just want a beard wig.
I'm gonna need some extra hair here in a little bit.
Give in.
Oh, I'll never probably shave all the way down.
This is just no guard. I didn't actually use the real razor.
Oh, okay. I thought you razored it. I was like, "Ugh." I love this dude's hat.
He's all right until like, what are you doing in dude's garage trying to play on dude's motorcycle? What? Get out of
Other
here.
than like, other than doing drugs, which like I have no problem with, like you do you, but like this dude is so me. Like I would say something stupid like that and not mean it in a bad way. I'm just like talking out loud. And 40 years ago, like I wouldn't think people would still be that sensitive. That was a huge firecracker.
It was.
I know a lot of people hate him. The boyfriend, can't remember his name. I like him. I don't have a problem. Yeah, he's a jerk at the end of the movie, but did you see how hot that Tiger gal was? Like, come on, he's drunk. Tiger gal's, I don't know,
He's still a dick. No, he's a dick.
but not like I want him to die a dick. He's a dick. Like, yeah, like he's kind of, he's a high school dude that messed up. He's not like he didn't make fun of anybody on the short bus.
No, he's a high school dick who tried to not cop up to it and
He was
then made it.
drunk.
I don't care. He's still a dick.
What else was he supposed to do? He's drunk. 9 out of 10 people are going to try to back out of that.
I hope he gets a really good death scene.
Oh, he's going to. And
And I've seen,
I love the sidekick. I feel bad I don't know anybody's name because I just cannot remember him. He was there at Crypticon, and I actually got a chance to talk to him. And I said, why did you have to die? Why couldn't your best friend die? He's like, I know, right? Sucks. I know I'm not getting a call back for the next one. Like, he was a super nice guy. I actually did talk to him for a couple minutes.
yeah,
He was in Fear Fest 1978.
yep.
And he was good. He's got kind of a Frankenstein look to him. I really like his look. He's got a real nice, like, draws you in horror. I don't know. I like his look.
I honestly think he could get away with doing more horror stuff just because he does work as the comic relief.
Right. And he's got, like I said, he's got that quirky look. He's funny. He's a big guy. Like, I like him. They look so related. Like, I understand, like, they really do look related. It's the same
Yeah.
build. See? I love it. That made me jump in the theater. I remember because I had a little bit of an instinct right there too, but just like, bye, boom, like, oh,
I have to say, with being that prepared with firepower, the end scene should not have taken that long.
well, what's dumb to me is okay, another thing I would have probably done and probably wouldn't have looked, well, no, it would have looked awesome. Can you imagine if Lori at the end of the movie, right? Michael's hiding upstairs and she's got those gates, right? Can you imagine if every time a gate dropped, if Lori had a flamethrower and she just like flamed in the rooms and walked away? Like she has a shotgun flamethrower, she goes full Sigourney Weaver, Ripley, Aliens 2, get away from her, you bitch! Like, I don't know. I just think it was kind of stupid. Like, why are you like, as a hunter, that I'm not, but when you hunt, you don't chase after the animal. You let them come to you. You set the trap. You don't go to them. Then I don't know. I didn't. I don't know. I didn't like the ending when it comes to that, and I don't like the fact that she uses the rifle when she should be using the shotgun. She should know better than that.
My personal favorite moment of the end scene is the fake out where she's like, I
Mm,
can't do it, I can't do it. That was gold.
so good.
That was pure gold.
Dude, the sit up. Oh my god, that sit up, dude, in the trailer. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for this movie. Because like in the first movie, he sits up creepy. He's like
Ah, you're cutting out
ghostly.
again.
Uh-oh, I can still hear you though.
No.
Can you still hear me?
What's happening?
Can you still hear me? I've got full connection.
Yeah, it keeps randomly cutting out. Yeah. Well, I missed out on like half of what you just said. It was like, now I
I
can hear
I
you.
I was just saying that I don't like that she uses the rifle at the end of the movie instead of using the shotgun. She should have known better to use the shotgun in close range like that. You don't use a rifle. It's the complete wrong weapon.
Yeah, I
Which
just,
it doesn't kill the movie, it doesn't hurt the movie. I mean, use whatever you're comfortable with, but
I
7%. If your dad's 7%, then what does that make you? I mean, I'm related to Adam and Eve on some level. Like, but no, I just think like if you're gonna set the house on fire, if Lori would have just gone room to room with a flamethrower, dropping the gates, that would have just been so awesome.
Side note, as this film progresses, like, what's her name knows that her husband is dead. And there's like, I feel like in every horror movie, when there's a couple like that, there's at least a moment where you get that like sadness. And this, it's just like, nope, just keep going. Just keep going. We're fine.
Well, I don't like as far as they know, they never see the body. So I mean, and Michael is there. So I just think they're so in it that, and I get the feeling that like the subtlety of this movie, a lot of people don't like Ray, but like Ray is exactly what she would go to. You know, a guy, an easygoing, joking, kidding guy that, you know, is not too serious, that'll always be
Mhm.
there, won't cheat on you. You know what I mean? I really feel like it's very subtle, but she loves him,
I
but at the same time, she kind of, you know, he was a safe bet, I think. He's a little older than
I
she
like
is.
him because he seems genuine. Like he seems comfortable in being the goofy, free spirited husband, dad kind of guy. I think it fits well. It's something that the franchise was kind of missing in a way is a character like that.
Right, right.
Um,
Yeah, he seems to be very authentic, very goofbally, but he supports his wife too. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I think he's a perfect fit for her. What she would end up with a controlling mother and a freak out person. She would go with the first like hippie, easygoing dude, dependable.
Yeah.
God, that'd be brutal. I'm
That
so
wasn't a
glad they
supportive
deleted the
mom
second
thing to
movie.
say.
Oop, sorry, what?
I said that wasn't a supportive mom thing to say.
No. Yeah, a lot of people also criticize and hate this scene here in a second where uh, no,
Well,
Amy.
it was a cheap way to like plug it all in. It was just like,
Well, I don't, but I think like that I would have told her the same thing. Be very detached and annoyed and irritated that you got to bring this up again in front of your daughter, and the ramifications from it are still showing up. I believe it. I think this is perfect. Like has to say it, but doesn't even really want to get into it. Detached and scarred.
nah.
I think right there at the end, I probably would have had her made eye contact with her daughter just to drive it home, like, you know. Because yeah, I get the complaint, but come on, guys.
Yeah.
See, once again, he listens. He adds a smidget of advice. Done. Like he's not. Here's something else
No.
that pisses people off is that Michael kills this kid.
I'm not pissed about it. It just goes against the years of Myers that we've had, even though the kid was armed. I honestly think that the kid didn't know what he was doing with the gun, which is why he shot Sartain. And if he would have had a second alone with Myers, he probably would have dropped it and got out and ran.
I mean, the kid shot somebody else. Like, I mean, so he is a threat. Like, if he accidentally shot somebody else, he could just as well shoot you. And I mean, that's the bare simple thing. You know, being the cloud, the storm that Michael Myers is, he just reacts.
On
I
top
mean,
of that Nissan hardbody pickup, I'm also a fan of this Ford Bronco.
I had a '95 Bronco. I'll have you know. And I got rid of it when gas was like $4.05 a gallon, and it's a 32-gallon tank.
At that point, I was daily driving a '83 Chevy Scottsdale with a mildly built 350, 3-speed transmission, and high. I think I had 373 gears in it, so I was getting 8 miles to
Yeah,
a gallon. Or I was driving the Camaro, which was getting like 4 to 6 miles to a gallon. Oh, it was a rough time.
you just
Yep, it
destroyed
hit
the
four
environment. I
dollars
hope
and
you're happy.
16 cents. The last time I filled up that high, and I was so sad. And then it dropped to like $1.25, and I was like, "Oh, I'm stopping at the gas station."
Yeah,
Rough time, rough time.
god dang man, that was bad. Like that was a
Yeah,
lot of money in the get when it was over $4 a gallon. Jeez. Here's
and I
here's
was going over. I was going from like 42nd Street and Leavenworth and KCK to 95th in Overland Park every day. Every day. Oh,
just lighting that paycheck on fire.
murder. That's weird how he told the kid to run and then he's just all the way down.
Yeah, that's a bad shot. A bad transition shot.
Yeah. I don't know why I always laugh at that, but
Oh, I think you're a little ahead of me.
he already shot him and ran to the truck and he's turning it on.
He just opened the door. Here, pause yours for like 2 seconds. Just boom, boom. Pause play.
I just got a neck snap.
Nope. He just snapped his neck right now. So yeah, pause it another like 3 seconds.
Yo, Hawk, listen.
No, still 2 seconds. Strawberry slushy or blue rabbit. Blast.
I really do like Hawkins' character.
I do too. I don't understand the sheriff. It's a weird like he feels like a throwaway character that has no weight whatsoever. It feels like Hawkins has all the history, the weight, the intensity. I don't know. I wish they would have had the sheriff more in this movie because he just feels worthless.
Yeah. Hawkins is shockingly well scripted and, acted by an amazing actor.
Hmm.
Um, for some reason, I don't know why, I always think of his character in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh God, I love his character in that. I always think of him in Armageddon.
Yeah, that's a good
Or
one
I'm
too.
sorry, actually, the first go-to is Remember the
That
Titans.
is not an angle you want your head at.
No, he's so good in Remember the Titans.
You're cutting out again, man.
Remember the Titans. I got full bars, man. I think that's you.
You there?
Yep, I'm here. I can hear you. So I think you're cutting out.
Remember the Titans.
Yep.
There we go. Maybe I got you back. Maybe. There we go. Man, it keeps randomly cutting out.
Well, tell the wife get off the Wi-Fi. There it is.
I'm-
I wonder if she got a paycheck. You know how some people get residuals? I wonder if I don't know.
Maybe.
I love how they just completely ignored the graveyard keeper.
Ignore what?
The graveyard keeper, they were talking to her, it's like, I don't know what's the big deal, and they just like ignore her, and he just starts talking to himself again. Like
Yeah.
I feel like he loves his own voice. I don't feel like he's actually scared or interested. I don't know.
I like I do like how she noticed Myers in the background, but I feel like she would have said something.
Oh, the graveyard gal?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you can't give up the fact that you're balding to where you push your hair forward. A2201. I wonder what that signifies. You know it does. It means something.
Yeah. And H6 reference.
Well, and I just don't understand how that's funny. Yeah, people he killed people. Like when last time he was out, he killed people. I don't think it's funny. The other thing is like I would have
Real
probably had
quick,
Michael Myers escape like a week before Halloween, and then like he's just on the loose. It would have been more interesting to see Laurie kind of prepared and people still not worried and things like that. I don't know.
yeah. I
I
will
get the
say
sprint, but still. Look at this
for
walk in
this
the
scene,
background. Such a good Nick Castle impersonation.
so this scene, the first time I saw it in theaters, I didn't see the Bronco pull up. What I
Oh,
noticed, the first thing I noticed was hearing the wrench drop.
oh, I didn't hear that. I think I saw him in the background. I wanted to say
Yeah,
stripping
I
him.
did not notice him. And I didn't notice that the first time I saw it either. Him in the background wailing on dude.
Hmm.
I will say, if you've ever been on a road trip across the Midwest, that is every bathroom.
Yeah, I'd die first.
Man, it sucks when you got to go number two, and it's either that or a Johnny on the spot, and the Johnny on the spot's cleaner.
No, I'd die. I can literally hold it. I've in my adult life I've never not made it, and I've held it for a record amount of time.
I've got Crohn's. You don't hold it.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You go or disaster strikes. It's one or the other.
I'm a germ freak, so it's like the opposite. It's like everything's on lockdown until we're comfortable enough to release the demons.
I remember when I first saw the trailer, seeing these feet and then what inevitably happens was the highlight of the trailer for me.
Oh, dude, those teeth are. Whew. Well, this is why you needed to see some trailers for this movie because you needed to know the flavor, right? You needed to know if this is going to be serious, if it's going to be campy. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis, how's her performance? Like, you needed to know certain things from the trailers to see this movie. For
Yeah.
Halloween Kills, you don't need to see anything. 2018 is the trailer to Halloween Kills. Like, I just don't
The
understand people complaining about spoilers in Halloween Kills trailer when you don't need to watch it.
the problem is the studio realized it took 2 years to get here, and originally they were only going to release little teasers, not full trailers, and then it took so long that they released the full trailer. That showed a lot. And they released a second trailer that showed a lot. And honestly, like we've talked about before, it's in the middle. Like it's the second film to be released. So we got a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. So personally, I didn't feel spoiled. But there's a lot of things in there that once you sit down and think about it, you're like, "Oh, well, okay, that person's going to get this, this is going to happen here." That explains some of the plot.
Right. I don't know. I've been waiting for this movie for so long. I want it to be somewhat special. I don't know. I saw the original teaser, and that's all I need. Oh God, I don't think that would have hurt that bad, but whatever.
I don't know, you might freak out because you see that toilet?
I do, but unlike the other movies, horror movies, like she's actually in danger at this moment. Not like in Valentine where she sticks her head in the toilet but nothing's happening, and not like 1978's Fear Street or whatever when they're climbing up the toilet. Like, come on. Like
I
Michael
just
just took
want to
a
point
crowbar
out
to the
that,
face.
yeah, 60 something year old Myers just took a crowbar to the face. Either that dude is weak. Nope, that ain't it.
I'm gonna assume he's weak. I don't think he did hit him full force, but even still, he. Good lord, my 3-year-old hits me in the face and I flinch more than that.
Right?
God, he uses his face to open the door. I hope he's not dead. I don't. What's funny is I don't really like his character, but I like it enough to where I want him to return.
Yeah, I don't like his character too much, but I think that he might be a good addition to. We may not see him in kills, or he might be like an in thing if he is dead or isn't dead. But I think he could be a good addition to ends, like narrating some of the story.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is not how masks weather over time, but it is a really cool looking sculpt. Also, when you buy your Trick or Treat Studios Michael Myers mask, it will need to be rehauled.
Yep. I yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Now watching the 1978 on high definition for the first time, like we did last week, I've lost a little respect for that mask. Not that I don't love it. I still love it, love it, love it. But it's not as like untouchable as it once was. It's just it's good. It's the original mask. It looks great. I like it. But now I kind of I don't know. Makes me appreciate other masks a little bit more.
I think ranking the masks would be very difficult for me because I want to put like the original and then Dick Warlock and then H6 and even the Rob Zombie Halloween masks. Like those are all great. Um, H2O, meh. I also really like the Resurrection mask. It's a good mask. And you're frozen again, aren't you?
No,
Yep,
I just
you're
was
frozen.
listening. No, I was just listening. I froze for about a second, but no, I was just listening.
Okay.
I think I
But
love
yeah,
H2O so much, and I saw it early on. The fact that it kind of gets a pass. Like I can say it's not a good mask, but it doesn't bother me because of my nostalgia for the movie. I will say that.
no. Man, I want a kitchen this big.
Kitchen's huge. I want to, yeah, I want to redo our kitchen, man. But like the thought of like, well, You could just live with what you have, or you could spend $15,000. Okay, I'll just live with what I have.
Well, you can also, one of the things I was thinking about doing when we were in our house in Mission was taking all the doors off and finding new cabinet doors, um, and just trying to do little things like that. Um, just because, man, everything in that house was from 1953 when it was built.
But now especially now having two kids, I just don't have time for projects like that. It's either somebody else is
Yeah.
going to do it or it's not getting done. I mean, I can mow the
Man,
yard and do some knickknacks, but
man, I mowed the grass here for the first time 2 weeks ago, and it already needs mowed again. And I got to work on these cars, and I got some housework that needs done. I still need to organize bathrooms and the living room, and still need to hang stuff to make it more homey because it looks like it's an apartment in a way. Like, so much crap still needs to be done.
yeah.
I couldn't imagine trying to tackle a project like redoing a kitchen or something.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm like, meh. See, I like how whiny she is, but she's still strong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's frustrated with her mom. She's over her crap, but she's still putting forth some effort. I don't know. I do like Karen. I know a lot of people don't, but I do think she's good for what they were going for with the family angles.
Yeah. I don't know how much you know about Halloween Kills, which makes me want to talk about some stuff, but I don't know that I want to bring it up with you because you're so anti-spoiler. I don't know what you do and don't know. That
It's
sucks.
it's weird, man. Like I just I don't know. I don't have very many movies where I just like don't want to see the trailer. I don't want to know. Like this is one of the movies where it's just I'm super excited and I want to be taken by surprise. I want to be, what's like we watch horror movies so much that they're not scary anymore. But when you watch Halloween Kills, when you watch Halloween 2018, the first time you watch it, it's a little scary. You don't know where Michael is, you don't know where he's coming, jump scares. You know what I'm saying? Like, but once
Yeah.
you for us, you get one time with these movies. You get one time to be scared, to be really thrilled. You know what I'm saying? And I just want
This,
as
sorry,
much of that as I can get for kills.
I get you. I love this shot.
Oh, it's beautiful. They shot it like what was it, like 17 times, 27, whatever it was. They shot it a lot. And I think there's two takes here. I think it breaks
It does break
right
somewhere.
there. Right there it breaks when he switches from after he grabs the hammer.
It's a really nice nod to both H1 and H2, so I can appreciate that.
It is. He looked at the sandwich like, no, not good enough.
Do you have a
I
dog?
This is the best you can do? Sandwich? I want a hot meal. Look at he. I love. I love how he's holding it like a lightsaber. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it was his destiny.
I also kind of want to know, like, if in the original script at all, if he made it into somebody's house and they were like, who the fuck? And then, like there was a fight. Because I feel like your first reaction, if you saw that, would be like, what the fuck? And then, like some sort of confrontation or running and I think that would have been an awesome kind of side take. Maybe not for this series, but for like some sort of Halloween film.
Yep. Yeah. I love how they put the baby in there because this movie goes for it. It's like we're gonna answer some stuff, we're gonna dig down a little deeper, and we're gonna put him in situations that you don't know how he's gonna react. Like, and I also like I always said, like I want to do a video on this, like how Michael Myers is a heroin addict. He needs that kill. He needs that rush, and like he starts off slow as a kid, and the more he kills, like I know, and I've heard the line, but the more he kills, the more he transcends. But like I don't know. I just think that this fits the character. That eventually he would literally just go door to door.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to own one of these old houses that have been like revamped and taken up so bad.
Right.
But I have seen the way their values jump. It's insane.
That's what sucks, man, about living up. It just it's outrageous out here, and it's only going to get worse. I don't ever see it
Yeah.
leveling off, and I don't
No,
understand how like families in the next 5, 10 years,
there's
new
no
families,
way.
how can you afford a
No way.
house? Rent's
I
just as
am
terrible though.
we are super lucky to be where we're at and be able to do what we did, but there's no way that I can expect that same future for a lot of people. Great shot. In the theater, I was like, "Ooh."
I love how stunned she was. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
With the lipstick on, he had kind of a good Joker look. No high school party ever has been this much fun. I just want to say that too.
No, it has not.
Especially Halloween party. Like, who has Halloween parties at high school? I don't remember that. Maybe I'm crazy.
Uh, there were like cliques of people who had Halloween parties outside of the school, and that was about it. And those parties were either really fun or boring, like
Yeah.
that, but it was not on school property.
It does seem a little weird that like, and I'm not the first one that noticed this, obviously, but the whole town, like, I mean, he's out there killing a lot of people, but the fact that he shows up and kills the best friend and the boyfriend and comes after Allison, and I don't know. I don't know how many
Plot
people he
convenience.
killed from, once he started. I don't think the town's supposed to be that big, but I got to imagine there's at least what 8,000 people there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's against the rules. Of course it is.
Read me a story. Clip of my nasty ass toenails.
Love it. They have really good chemistry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I wish my kid was that chill.
Your kid's not that old yet. Give it time.
Oh God, hopefully. Uh, Be right back. I need some beverage.
Disappointing. He's leaving us all again.
1 second. I'll be right back. Oh God, I can get up without breaking anything.
So disappointing. I can't wait for John to edit the video and see that. And here's the scene he was talking about. Dude is a dick and deserves whatever cruel death that he should receive in one of the next two films.
All right. Like I said, what he did was wrong. But I'm not saying he's that bad of a guy. Like he's not like Trent from Friday the 13th remake where dude was literally sleeping with another gal.
He would have.
He's in high school. Give him a break.
No. Why should I? I didn't cheat in high school.
I didn't either. But I was never put in a position where the girl was that gorgeous in like a tiger outfit. Not that I'm a furry or anything, but it's pretty. She was very good looking. Nothing against furries. Like, here's how you know
That
she
was
didn't buy that
overly
phone.
that was overly convenient. I'm pretty sure it's just cheese. You can wipe it off.
Yeah, that's probably a what, a $600 phone at least. I'm getting that phone. I'm not walking away
If
from a
it was
$600 phone.
if it was punch or something, then you got me. The phone's probably dead.
Right.
But you can wipe nacho cheese off. I feel like we should have a science experiment where we throw like an old iPhone into cheese and see if we can rescue it.
Oh, I'm
Like
sure
we
you
should
can.
mythbuster it.
Well, because like, right? I mean, you still got text and stuff like that, even if you couldn't hear it. What did you make where you needed a 4 foot knife?
Plot convenience.
Not right.
He needed to be stuck to a wall in one of these scenes.
Yes, he did.
The sheets are a nice callback.
Gotcha. I love Dave and love the hat. That girl is adorable and funny. Very weird.
Yep.
It was a weird strategy, Cotton. And I just don't
Cotton
understand.
weary.
Huh?
Cotton weary.
Cotton weary? Yeah. Well, I just don't understand. Like, dude, like, okay, I get that teenagers, whatever, but I don't know. It's weird. You're babysitting, dude. There's a little kid upstairs. I don't know. It's weird.
You know, it's playing again on the babysitter theme. That was, it's. I feel like we're in a weird, unique time, like with the virus and with how our lifestyles changed from the 70s to now about how babysitters are utilized. I think it did a pretty decent balance of that, but it's not a great representation of today.
I don't. We've never Jackson or Benny have
Send
never
Dave
had.
first.
Yeah,
That kid is awesome.
yeah. We've never had a babysitter for Benny that wasn't family. Jackson's had a couple babysitters that weren't family. Now that I think about it, but it's just Jackson's a lot, and it's just I feel, and it's hard to spend like 40 $60 on a babysitter, and then you go out to eat or something. There's another 40 $60, and then you come back and you're drunk and tired and full belly, and then you got to deal with kids. It's all hard.
Man, this kid fucking kidding me. This kid rules. I don't care.
I don't know if you're a second off, but like when you say it, he says it perfectly at the same time. So I'm wondering if we're still a second off, but you're like nailing it the second he says it.
Dude, I can't get over like there's something about that is like the embodiment of what it was like to be that age as a little kid. You actually did say those things and act like that. So it's interesting to see that used instead of just the like scared kid or something like that. He's given more than that. He's given a sense of humor. He's given like he's human in a way, whereas I feel like a lot of horror movies make the little kids just one-off characters.
Right.
Friday the 13th Part 6 doesn't count, and neither does The Omen. I will say, who doesn't check the closet? Also, who just tries to test ride somebody's motorcycle?
Right. Well, I mean, once again, he's high. I mean, not making good decisions. Oh
I've
God.
made bad decisions while inebriated that did not involve harming other people's property.
I would love to have a motorcycle, but like it's just too
Also,
crazy up
my
here.
maybe it's different because my dad was a biker, so there was like this respect for bikes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, voila! It sucks that the trailer gave that away.
All right. Michael's like, "You found my hiding place."
Don't
Oh,
wear socks.
that was a stupid slip. It looked terrible. She could have been a decent, like she had a little bit of a fight there. She had a bit of an attitude to her, a little bit of a strength. She could have hung around a little bit longer. Like I would have had Dave die first.
I think it's hilarious how the kid goes back up to help. Caesar says nope and turns around and runs back out.
All right. Oh God, the nails on the floor. Oh, that's a really good shot. I really like that shot.
Man, I love those little Nissan trucks. I don't care.
Take the Bronco.
Hmm.
I'll take the Bronco. America. America.
At this point, as someone who's driven lots of Murica cars, I can tell you my not Murica cars have lasted a whole lot longer.
It's very true. Very true. And that's a hard thing to just come to terms with. I told Brittany, I was like, I'd always kind of like to have an American vehicle just because. It's just fundamentally, it's just ingrained in me. But yeah, I have no argument. Like, her
Yeah.
Mazda is better than my Dodge.
I
Like,
grew up in a GM strict household. Like everybody drove Chevy, Buick, Pontiac, GMC. Like that's just how it was. And I went through that, and then I bought myself a Jeep, and it was junk too. My Chevys were junk. Then I bought a Ford, it was junk. And then I got a Nissan, and it was amazing. Got another Nissan, also amazing. It just, I, and most Nissans are now assembled, like the American Nissans are assembled here in the US.
right.
Um,
But it's not,
actually, until the new Frontier redesign, the Nissan Frontier was the most American made truck on the market
right.
because it took 15 years to redesign it.
But it's not American owned, is what I'm saying. Like, I get where it's assembled and built, but I mean, you also have to look at the kind of person that owns those kind of cars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fords, Chevys, Dodges. Like, you look at usually people that own those and people that own the Toyotas and they spend more money initially. They just take care of their crap better because they spent more money on it. And you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a longer investment because they spent money on it. They want it to last forever.
Yeah.
People beat the piss out of Dodge, Chevys, and Fords.
Well, also
Dude,
they're not built to last. Like I know they all have their problems. Honestly, if I had the money to just walk in a dealership and buy one vehicle new, it would be a Toyota Tundra. Just because I know that that would be the last truck I'd ever have to buy. Like
right.
I would take care of it and it'd take care of me. It'd be expensive up front, but it's a
I,
1 million mile truck.
dude, this is the first time I realized that the pumpkin was in the fish tank.
I
And
didn't even know.
I'm sorry. I love this part coming up with Michael. That's a good shot here. The Nick Castle switch over.
Yep.
Boom. James Jude Courtney. I love this. Oh, big gulps, huh? Oh, see you later. And I was like, God, everybody's got a gun.
I do love how he just like pieces out calmly.
He's just gone. He's like, I'm a ninja. I'm out of here. Dave got it hard.
Yep.
The base of the skull and the neck.
She just hit a cop and got away with it.
I mean, she shot Michael. I'm saying right now that they dated. I'm saying it right now, and I bet you in Kills she wheels over to his bed, or he wheels over to her. I'm telling you right now that they dated. It just seemed like there was a little bit of more than just friendship there, like a deeper connect. Not a deeper. I don't want to get like weird,
Well,
but a connection.
he talks about it in here. He was there that night. So like I feel like he probably had it, they're establishing that long term, like at the very least they had that camaraderie about that situation.
Yeah, but I think that's probably why they started dating. It'd be interesting if Frank was actually Allison's dad. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Don't tell me what to do.
My boy is a liability.
Yeah. All points bulletin. Student overalls and a mask, and go.
Right?
I do think it would be a good idea. I wish they would have put like a little blurb that this town has outlawed Michael Myers masks, just so that way you can kind of put your foot down on something. I'm your biggest fan. So I think in the flashbacks we are going to see that, like Loomis.
Okay, so you know this. Flashbacks. Thank
Well, but
God.
I
I've
don't know a
been
lot. I know Loomis is in there. I know there's flashbacks. I know Tommy's in there.
I'm
That's
actually really excited to see the flashbacks, to be honest.
See, that was my thing. Was like that was my thing from this movie. I said what they should do is they should expand on the lore of Michael Myers after he falls out of the window. You have another little blurb, another 10, 15 minutes where Michael just goes off. You got Loomis chasing him, and then you see the capture scene where he just takes down like a few police officers before he finally goes down, which could be in the trailers. I don't want to know. That's something I've been championing ever since this movie came out.
I kind of I with the flashbacks, I'm cautiously optimistic because 2018 has done so well. They can really make it work where some of the other sequels failed miserably. Um, they can tie things up in a bow a little bit better, and also maybe show instead of waiting till Halloween 5 for Loomis to snap, we can see because they just said he was the first responder who stopped Loomis from killing Michael. Like, getting to see that sounds awesome. I know that we're really good with face technology, so I'm not too terribly worried about what they can do for Donald Pleasance, unless whoever did Henry Cavill's Superman Bizarro face is in charge of it, then we're all screwed. But I think Blumhouse would not hire that person.
I think they need to do a deep fake. Like, don't do the CGI stuff. Just do a deep fake. The deep fake technologies leaps and bounds better than that CGI crap.
What a weird time to live in, though, because I feel like every average person thinking about deepfake, like, it's fun to watch some of the videos on YouTube, but also you can sit there and go, with this tech, you can technically get away with putting somebody else's faces on some video for a crime that they didn't commit.
Yep. Yep.
And then you get into the ethics of it. Should this exist? Shouldn't it exist? How do you build laws around it? What is it? And that's the thing. I
Well,
go.
I'm
I
sure
have.
there's like, I mean, for like actual like money making stuff,
Mhm.
I'm sure there's laws that say you can't do it. It's like Crispin Glover. He sued Back to the Future Part Two for using his likeness because they used molds of his face. I'm sure it's the
Yeah.
same thing.
So for me, I'm just kind of going into like the overall, like with my with my degree, that's the type of stuff that I liked looking into is seeing how like, oh, this new thing that we have, it technically could do a lot of good, could do a lot of bad. It's interesting to see what we can do with it, but also interesting to see how do we utilize it and how do we make sure it doesn't entrap people.
I think for like The Irishman, I think it's really cool that Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and all those guys, Joe Pesci, they can come back and still look youthful, still making movies as if they were still in their prime. So for that aspect alone, like the CGI and stuff like that, I think is really cool. That I don't know,
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it. I just want to flip back here. I get like, I mean, he took a shot. He didn't try again. He didn't try harder. He didn't put her in a weird spot. Like, was it messed up? Yeah, I get that. It's annoying. She doesn't like it, but he's not a bad guy. He just
Also, the
tried.
night he's had. She got her boyfriend cheating. Her boyfriend decided to toss her phone. She's got an escort home. The escort home tried to kiss her. She's
Right.
over it.
Right. I'm not saying it was
He's
right. I'm
an
just saying,
idiot.
he took a shot. He failed, but he stopped when she said no. So I mean,
Yeah, and I guarantee that would have been one of those things that, like, 3 days later, people would have been cool. But you know, somebody gets a gate through this first, so
boo.
it'll never happen.
Hey Jackson, how you doing? Hey buddy. Hey, you need to go upstairs and go to bed. Hey Caleb, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Why did you go here when I took it out?
Well, buddy, I'm working, bud. Here, let's go upstairs and go back to bed. Come on. Let's go back to bed. I love this scene. I gotta get my kid out of here.
This is a
One of my
great
favorite scenes in the
scene.
entire movie.
I think John and I talked about it the last time, last week, I believe,
I don't blame you.
with the light flicker. It's great. Absolutely great. And Slash. And again, another skill of John Carpenter's is the music. It's perfect. And such a great transition between the songs from this to The Shape Hunts Allison. And bam. Mm, so great. I know
Yeah, I want
that's
to hear
coming
it.
for me soon. I know before too long Wesley's gonna be running up and down and doing that to me, and I'm gonna be like, I gotta go. Hold on.
Yeah, I was like, hey, buddy, I missed the Shape Hunts Allison, darn it. And I
You
love
did
that.
miss it. I talked about how awesome the transition from song to song was. Just kind of briefly touched on it, but the way that it's a great set of shots. The music is utilized perfectly, and then the way that she runs down the street begging for somebody to let her in is so well done.
It's kind of interesting the fact that Michael's not going to chase after certain people because he's not infatuated with her. Like, I know a lot of people get irritated because it really doesn't amount to anything. You got the sweet score. But at the end of the day, Michael's just out there to kill people. Like, he's like, yeah, I could chase you or just go kill somebody else that
It's,
didn't even know I'm coming.
with 2018, I think I touched on this last week. I feel like there's two camps of people. There's the camp of people that like automatically are on the fact, okay, Sartain dumps Michael in front of her house, and that's what brings them back together. And then other people are like, well, if they're not related, well, then why does this movie work? And well, because Sartain literally drops him off
Right.
right in front of her house. So he's like, people that way. I'm gonna go
Right.
kill him.
Right.
I don't think he has a bigger connection to Lori necessarily. I think he recognizes her. I don't think that Sartain's theory about that being the will to live is correct.
I think for Lori maybe, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
what like once Michael gets his hands blown off and everything else, I could see him having a vendetta against Lori once
yeah.
again, like a bigger high, like something he just has to do. But it's once again, it's just instinctual. Also, like she's chasing him, she
I
wants to kill him. You know.
I do think that Halloween Kills. I think we are going to see the brutality of H6 and Rob Zombie's H2 in a way that we've never seen it before, and I'm really excited to see that on a H1 style Myers, which this much more is. And I do think that Vendetta, like you said, will come out because he got messed up at the end of this movie.
Hmm.
But I also don't think that's going to be his main drive either. I think if he sees the people responsible, he'll drop everything else to do that. I just don't think that he's going to necessarily be driven to find that person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, I don't like that dialogue. I've waited for him. He's waited for me. She's staring at the wall of guns. Like I don't know. That one feels a little bit more preachy to the camera than the other one, than Karen's. I love this. This is actually kind of realistic. Like, what would you do? Oh, there he is. You freaking hit him with
I'd
the
run
car.
him over. I'd double tap him. I'd run him over front,
Yeah.
back, front, back, front, back. And you know what's weird is I don't think so. Like, if this was all real, I don't think anybody in the world would say it's the wrong thing to do. No, he's not. And this is, I knew in the theater when he said that, you killed him, he's dead. Like, I know where this is going. Made me so mad.
Well, he didn't like. He kind of goes a little mad scientist, but not enough.
Yeah.
Like mustache twirling kind of mad scientist. I kind of wish he would have gone a little bit further. So he's living
Speaking of
here.
mad scientists, and we've talked about fan films before, you know what I'd really like to see? Instead of theatrical release reboots, I'd like to see some fan films with some of the budget and the camera work of something like Never Hike Alone on a Dracula or Frankenstein or Creature from the Black Lagoon or stuff like that that just pays that love to it, but modernizes it a little bit. Because I feel like remakes of those are going to be too on the nose, and I know they were supposed to happen after Tom Cruise's The Mummy, which I still haven't seen because I didn't want to. Also, goofiest shot in a Halloween movie ever. I don't care.
I get it. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't sit right. It's one of those things where it's you get why he's wearing it. He wanted to feel what Michael felt. He wanted to wear a mask and feel that, that next level evil.
I don't mean to bring another channel into this, but Boots to Reboots, the maniacal cinephile, when he reviewed this, he was like, "It smells like bad breath and farts in here." And that was like the best thing I could think of.
That
Like,
dude it's been a while since I've seen some of his stuff, but that guy is amazing. Like the level of
commitment.
energy and effort and production that he goes to,
He took a
amazing.
hiatus for a while, and I think the movie he came back to was this actually, and then he took a little bit more of a hiatus. Then he came back for Doctor Sleep, and he actually posted on his page on Facebook that people were sending him death threats for not producing stuff.
Jeez.
And he was like, life just happened. I couldn't be there all the time. I was working, I moved, whatever. But that guy that's probably one of my favorite channels.
Yeah,
Um,
he's phenomenal. I just don't know, like, how the hell do you even have time for that? Like, that's to do something like that. It would take me probably a whole weekend. Like, it would take me a
for
whole week
one
of
video.
writing down how I'm gonna do stuff, and then it would take me the whole weekend to shoot it, mess it up, and do it again.
Yeah.
I'm not even if I could even do something like that. I don't even want to act like I can. I'm just saying, like, to even try to
It
attempt something like that.
it can be done. We'd have to graduate from the world of cell phones and doing this distance to in person and using more modern equipment and
Yeah,
editing and
I think once our kids get older and we can, invest some more money and time and that they're not so as dependent to us. Like, I think we can do some more fun stuff. We can come up with some skits and stuff to do.
yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. But for now, it's just fun hanging out, talking
Yep.
movies.
Yep. How did he not know that that was like she realized that was her out if she told him that? Like,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, for these guys not being real good actors, they do a really good job.
yeah. I am so happy that they didn't like those are kind of goofy, fun cops to have in the movie, but they're not goofy like Halloween 5 goofy.
Right. Well, they're everyday kind of guys, probably, right? You're just
Yeah.
sitting there, you're just hanging out.
Michael, he knew. He just went, Michael.
Dude, there's some shots where I freaking love this mask, and then there's some where it's just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just called Hawkins a burnout. Like, I, I don't. Nothing in this movie has made me think he was a burnout, and especially that somebody'd have the balls to say that over the radios.
To I'm guessing they're superior.
Right. Unless he really is kind of a burnout to where he never. I mean, he's deputy sheriff, wasn't he?
Yeah, maybe he was a burnout on other things, but this case.
Michael's enjoying this. He's like, I've waited 30 years for this. Boom, shakalaka. See, it's
And
weird
the
because
homage to Rob Zombie's H2.
see, like I like Rob Zombies a little bit more just because in Rob Zombies it felt like it was a squish in and then squish again. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's still some stuff in there. It didn't explode, but I like this one too, where like the whole head just like explodes out.
Yeah. I prefer the Rob Zombie H2. I think I like the fact that he's brutally strong and he is angry and you can feel it in the movie. And I also like this where he's just like,
Supernatural,
and you're gonna die now, and extremely powerful.
right? This is more supernatural, where that was like you said, more brute strength.
Yeah.
Another good shot of Michael.
As
Okay.
someone who has looked into mannequins to display their um, cosplays, um, that is a lot of money just laying around her house.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how ridiculously expensive they are.
That's probably why her beds and she's got wood paneling and everything else. I love that the Myers house is just sitting there on the ground like the little dollhouse thing. I freaking love it.
I've really wanted to get into trying to do displays, and I've thought about there's tutorials on how to do like a popsicle stick um, Nancy's house
Mm.
from Nightmare on Elm Street, and there's some on how to do the Myers house, and I've thought about trying to figure out how to do it because I think they would look really cool displayed with some of the figures, or even to like try and sell, take to cons, stuff like that.
Are you going blue door or are you going red door?
Red.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a reason for that or?
It's initially what I think of.
I do too.
Yeah.
Even though I mean in the original it's blue, but I always think red too. I don't know why.
I think because like the way they do reintroduce Freddy to it in like all of the later sequels, it's red, so we've had more exposure to it.
It could be. Yeah, for some reason and I think the callback from A New Nightmare, like that transition from original movie to character to yeah, the house, I don't know. That gore is
How did
phenomenal.
he have time to make the head o lantern? Is what I
Dude,
want to know.
he got vicious with the hands. Like right here. And he catches him midair and he just snaps him and like catches him leg in the back of him and then just breaks him. So much better than this chokeout moment.
I feel like you just really wanted Busta Rhymes to run out right there.
Well, it was a good payoff. You set it up. Everybody would have loved it. Everybody. It would have made up for, you know, resurrections. I don't know.
What I find really interesting is you
I'm
have
surprised you didn't just run
to.
out the door shooting. Michael's right there. Why didn't you just go boom, 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 boom?
I feel like it wasn't until the reboot craze that people realized how important it was to be um, connected to the villain in the movie. Um, like James Jude Courtney arguably makes a fantastic Myers. Derek Mears made a fantastic Jason. Andrew Barnarski made a terrifying Leatherface. Like all of these choices were made with the concept of them being in more than one film. And I feel like it's kind of interesting that it took filmmakers so long to get there because they were like, "Oh, it's just a guy in a mask. It doesn't matter who we cast." But it really does.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's a difference too. Like the level of yeah, I mean
Okay.
respect that horror
Yeah.
movies get these days as opposed to 70s and 80s.
And if you have
Oh
ever been to
God.
Hunter Safety, you know not to put your hand on the barrel.
Oh God. I got jammed a finger. I can't imagine one being blown off. Oh,
So
keep
this
trying.
morning on my way to work, I had to stop and get some power steering fluid because mine started to, like evaporate a little bit. So pop a little bit more in, and I actually did like close the latch on the tip of my finger, and
Mm.
that was enough. Nope, nope, can't, nope. Mm-mm. And that grunt was actually really well placed because I feel like that being his first real big grunt was
They do a really good job of the breathing in this movie and the grunting. You know, there's a few moments where they show a little too much of Michael Myers, like his eyes and like obviously in the daylight. But what are you gonna do? I mean, he's in the daylight. That's such a good shot. Off center just a little bit. Got the fingers there for like the devil. Like,
the
uh,
blood dripping.
oh God, just such a good shot. Now here's what I don't understand. He doesn't know he doesn't know you're under the floor. Now by God he knows. Like,
Yeah.
and like you're shooting. Like, I mean, you can pinpoint where he is from above. I don't know.
I feel like that was a stupid move by all accounts. Like, even in the theaters, I was like, what are you doing? You just gave away your spot.
Right. Well, here again, like there is one entry into the basement as far as we know. There is no reason to go out there for him. There's the stairways. You sit there and you just wait for him to come down. What they should have done is had Allison knocking on the door, and that forces her to come out to save her. You know what I'm saying? Like coming out of there for no reason is stupid. Like especially using this massively long gun. Like she should be using that pump action shotgun. I just don't understand. Like Allison should have knocked on the door, and that's what flushed her out. Not this crap. I get that you have to fill up space, but it's just Lori. I don't know. I don't know.
I like the closet callback,
Mhm.
the shutter doors like that.
Mhm. Would have kind of been funny had she just like pumped 2 rounds into it and then just like reloaded. She's like, nah, clear. Like then she
Yeah.
opens it like, you know.
Also, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody about like, the clear room method. Like, the points where he could hide in all of these rooms, right?
Mhm.
So why would you not cage it and then go check it? You could check off room by room by room, but have all secure while you're doing it. Like right now, she's opening herself up to be cornered.
So you mean just walk in and just cage as you go, and then go back in and open up one at a time?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, like what I'm saying is like you can buy flamethrowers. Like I don't know if every state it's legal, but in Kansas and Missouri you can own a flamethrower and a flamethrower that shoots 20 plus feet. So like
Yeah.
if you really wanted to clear a room and that's your whole intent is to just kill him,
I
I
feel
don't know,
like
man.
this scene was too much. Her
Yeah,
landing in the mannequins and screaming, that felt misplaced.
it did, especially when it didn't pay off anything. I hear you there.
Like, I could see that in a supernatural horror film, definitely. But in this, it was just like, wait, what? Has she never been to her grandmother's house? Is there more we need to know?
Once again, like she's at the bottom of the steps. You got the door behind you. The door's shut. There is no reason to go upstairs. Just sit there with the gun and wait for him. The whole thing about being a hunter is just patience. Like you just sit there and wait.
Or, like I said, secure that room. Just go ahead and lock it and then work your way around.
Well, like I said, lock it and shoot in there with the flamethrower and just let it burn. If he's in there, he's burning. Clear all the rooms with the flamethrower and then just leave.
Again, I want to point out I do actually enjoy the movie. I have a lot of fun with it, and I think that it was it was in the right direction. I just think that some of these choices were bad. Like I can tell you with 100% certainty, I am not going room to room like this.
Right. Nobody would. I know she wants to kill him, and
Especially
she's
when you can tell that he's baiting her with the blood. He put it where he wanted it to be.
yeah.
Michael's not he's smart. That's something that was well established throughout the franchise.
Well, so is
He's
Jamie
smart
though.
enough
She
to
in the
bait you.
first movie, she's smart. So I just don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with her clearing room to room per se. I have a problem with her ever leaving the basement. Like, there's no reason to leave the basement. Had Michael should have either set the house on fire to get her out of the basement, or Allison should have knocked on the front door. Otherwise, there is no reason to leave that basement
Yep.
with Karen in there. With Karen in there, I could understand you want Michael to die and you want to hunt him down, but with Karen in there and protecting her, there's no reason to leave the basement.
Yep. I will say in the theater, this scene particularly bothered me because I feel like the flashlight, she waved it around enough to be able to know if he was actually in the room.
Yeah. Dude, I hate it when the flashlight hits you in the face as they move in this. I hate that. He was behind the
Yeah.
curtain behind the mannequin. That's why she couldn't see him. Sneaky little turd. It happens so fast it's hard to see.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that, but I was looking for it more when you said that. I didn't know that
She
there were tutus were biters. How you like falling off the second floor?
well, she gone now. Here in just a moment.
I gotta say, like
Who
I
says grandmother?
right. It's weird. It was a weird choice. I don't know. It does stand out. I don't know about in a good way. I don't. And like I said, I love this movie. I do, but there are some nitpicks about it that I just would have changed. Like Happy Halloween, Michael. No, all she should have said was boo, and then go for it. Like if you got to have her say something, don't Happy Halloween, Michael. Like that's a good 2 seconds. Like that's a mistake.
I still can't believe how well I did not. Like, I totally saw that he was going to figure out that it was that island and he was going to rip it off, but I did not see her actually shooting. I saw her, like, breaking down and Lori saving them.
Yeah. No, it was a really good scene.
Yeah.
Very believable. Very well acted.
I also like, not to be mean because I am a bigger guy, I do like how they make Michael look like an older man. Like he's got a little bit of that like older man gut.
Right.
He's got a little bit of that kind of slower creep in his step. All of those things for some reason actually add up to him being more scary, whereas before the film I was like, I'm not scared of 70-year-old Myers, you know?
Well, I think it's because yeah, like it once again, it leans towards the human side, but then when he does something superhuman, like you're like, dang, I believe that too. Like I believe he's smashing his face up against the stall. Like it's it 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 expands that like oh it's a cute little puppy, and then all of a sudden it's ripping your throat out.
Yeah. No, not okay.
It's that like tear sigh thing right there, where it made you believe like maybe she's not gonna be able to do this, but
Yep.
no, she rises to the occasion like a boss. Once again, I don't think you're grabbing a gun with a scope. Like you're not going to be able to see very well with that scope.
Well, that's why it's just a flesh wound, and then he
Right.
gets an iron skillet.
Yeah.
And even the wobble, like the
hmm
nervous, like I can't that looks so real. Like
It's
that
like
I
a
can't do it.
it's like a voice actor acting to portray, like to really sell it. She's
Yeah.
super selling it so well.
And then this.
And the sound design right there, where it just cuts out. Gotcha. Oh,
Iron Skillet.
gotcha.
God.
Oh God, rocking his world.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
watching
Kieran,
this
you
guy.
too.
He's like,
Let's sit
wait, I'm
up.
coming. I was watching this guy on TikTok talk about ways to make a Southerner angry, and he was like, he was like, if you call any of your friends' iron skillet dirty,
He just does a little bit of moans too as he's getting cut. It's perfect. It's just enough to say, yeah, he's getting hurt, but it's not like the end of the world.
I just want to know what kind of spring was compressing those back successfully for all those years.
Yeah.
I have seen coil springs fail on newer cars. Like, man.
I will say it's funny that somebody called this movie woke, and I didn't realize that like there's three strong female leads until somebody said it, and I was like, that's how you know it's not. Is when I don't even know until somebody else like puts it in my face, and like
It's it's
Mike,
really not. Honestly, it's as a Halloween fan, you have to realize the first movie isn't Michael's story. It's not Loomis's story. It's Laurie's story. So if you're connecting back to the first one, you're going to use her story. And I don't see anything wrong with her having a daughter who has a daughter.
right? I don't either. Absolutely not. Well, there's something about fate too, right? Think about fate, right? Laurie Strode had Karen inside her, right? And Allison inside her in 1978. Now they're beside her today in this movie. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
How that works. It's wild to
Yeah.
think that they're connected and that it's also bringing it forward, connecting to this. It's wild. Going to this scene that we just passed though, James Jude Courtney, they wanted him to get a stunt double in there in that scene with the fire around him, and he said no. He said, I'm going to do this. I'm Michael Myers. That's the level of like attention to detail commitment that he had.
I also want to say real quick the truck pulling up and doing the escape, that like this movie does a good job of paying attention to the Halloween films that came before it. But this is a really great nod to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I can
Right.
really appreciate where they put a small nod there.
Right.
I'm also I don't know. I'm in a weird place with this film because it could have ended there and that's okay. Like I don't have a huge problem with it. And it could get its sequels. And I know that David Gordon Green did speak about that he wanted to make a movie that if it didn't get a sequel, it ended in an okay enough place. And I think he did a good job.
I think so too. It's interesting that this movie is dedicated to Mustafa Akkad when I believe he died in 2005. And it's just
Yeah.
interesting that two movies came after his death, and I don't remember them being dedicated to
You know,
Mustafa.
still to this day, I think about what Donald Pleasance told Mustafa Akkad when he went to visit him when he was in the hospital, and he said, "How many films do you think we can do, respectively?" And Donald Pleasance told Mustafa Akkad, at least that's what he says in a couple interviews, 22. 22 Halloween films. And I remember, I think it's on the Halloween H2O special features. that he talks about that maybe. But I remember thinking like, okay, H2O is 7, Resurrection is 8, like 22 movies. Like, where do you go? And from that perspective, way back in 2002, 2003, Halloween Resurrection, like, you are. Uh, let me put this into perspective. I was 12-ish years old. Halloween Resurrection was the first Halloween film I got to see in theaters. I knew that the opening scene was better than the rest of the movie, but I still had this love for it because it's the first time I saw Michael Myers in theaters. But 22 Halloween Resurrections? Oh.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, he's just being that way. He's just saying that he'll make them until the end of time, and that's what they should do is just keep going. But I think one of those, like, you can make a lot of Halloween movies, but you got to stop with happy endings. Like, you gotta like, Michael walks off into the distance because he killed everybody, and that's where you drop off that movie. And in the next movie, you pick up with the aftermath. Like, instead of, like, you need more, like, not like in the first movie where, like, it's open ended. It's more of a thought provoking thing. You can't kill evil. Evil's out there always, and, like, you might have stopped it in your story, but it might pick up somebody else's. I don't think you need to have something quite like that. I think having more of a mean spirited, like, killed everybody and walked off, and then he went off to the next town. He just went off to the next town, like, he went home, burnt his house down. Like, that would have been interesting to, like, burn down the Myers house, and that's what sets Michael free. Like, that's his last attachment to his childhood, to his human emotions, maybe. Like, once you set his house on fire, he's like, well, I'm just going wherever. I don't know.
I don't know. As we talked about in way too much detail last week, I do think, since Blumhouse has the license, although Halloween Ends is going to end this, I don't think that they're going to waste the opportunity to cash in on a couple other ideas at some point. It may take a while. It may be 5, 10 years, but they're going to. They would be really, really, really self-destructive if they didn't. I mean, they're still a film company. They know that there's dollars throughout the Halloween franchise. I don't know what that'll be. I heard rumors of a TV series, and I don't know. I feel like it needs to rest.
No,
And
I
and
think it'd
that
be really
sucks.
interesting. Like if you had Donald Pleasant. Oh well, Donald, not, I'm sorry. If you had Loomis in there, get somebody that looks a lot like him that can sell it. If you did,
Yeah.
like, the trial of Michael Myers, right? And, like, you got Loomis in there. He's like, I can reach this kid. I can figure out what makes him tick. And then he's like, I just need some more time. And then you extend the trial a little bit. And then you have a good lawyer to defend him. You have Laurie in there saying what he did. After, like, you can do different stories of it. You can do from when he was a
Yeah.
kid and Loomis tried to reach him, and then you could do after 78, and you could have Laurie trying to condemn him, and have maybe Jamie Lee Curtis come back and just, like, or I don't know. I think there's some things you can do with it. You can also go back to Smith's Grove, and you could do some of that Halloween Returns script where he controls the other inmates and he silently kills the other inmates that don't fall in line. I don't know. It could be really interesting. I think, like Michael Myers being a silent, like, gang member controlling the prison, almost, like, just silently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. To me, it's very interesting if you could do it right.
I think that they could do more. The problem is they've, and we said this with 2018. I don't know if we ever talked about it on camera, but they wrote themselves into a corner once they acquired the property, and this is the story arc that they went with. It has to end. Um, and I mean, I guess they could continue it throughout, like, the bloodline of Laurie Strode, but honestly, you've written yourself into a corner where you're doing the same thing as you did with Jamie Lloyd. doing the same thing that you did with almost should have actually done with John, but for some reason just skipped over his character in Resurrection. But I don't know. I think it should rest. I think personally this franchise should rest because it risks so much if it continues that quickly after. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's done. I mean, without it being having some weird shtick or trick or some weird funky thing, I think it's done. Like, really, what else do you do? I mean, Michael he has gone back to his original intent, where he is a storm. He is the tornado in the trailer park. Like, he literally destroys as he goes. Like, and once the tornado's done, he's done. So I'm like, either you kill everybody, and that's how you end Halloween Ends, is just he just kills everybody and walks off into the distance, or you kill him off and just call it a
if you
day.
think about it, is it that bad? Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, if you think about it, is it really that bad that you can have up to, once Halloween Ends comes out, 13 Halloween movies and 12 of them which involve Michael Myers? That is a lot of content to cover. You've got good, bad, ups, downs, in betweens, and not once did he go to space. So that's not a loss. That's like, if you're a Halloween fan, you can pick what you want. Do you want the silent stalker? Do you want the rage-filled redneck Rob Zombie thing? Do you want Halloween 4, arguably one of the most fall-feeling Halloween movies that there are? Like, you have so many choices, and the same argument that you were talking about Friday the 13th last week.
Right.
And there's, I don't see a problem with stopping for a while. Like, I have watched Resurrection enough that I will pull it out just to have fun with it. I mean, this is, I understand it's a bad movie, but I still do enjoy watching it around Halloween time. I do.
What's funny is, like, I actually think I think it's a bad movie, but I think it's a bad movie for other things. I think it's just boring. I think it's the problem with it. I think Michael Myers in the movie, if you watch the scenes with Michael Myers, other than the Busta Rhymes thing, which, once again, me defending it to just make the movie better and to make the movie palatable, I think that, like, he was just being strategic. He was like, look, if they find out he's Michael, if, he's walking around as Michael Myers, it'll lower everybody else's guard, and I can just start picking people off because they just think I'm him. Like, to me, I get that. If that's what they were going for, I don't know. I haven't watched the behind the scenes for it, but if that's what he was going for, that makes sense to me, right? Like, he lets certain people live at times. He kills other people, puts them in the way. He freaks them out. Like, he does things to make killing other people easier. So to me, that works. I don't know. Resurrection's really bad, but it's bad because it's boring. It's not bad because it's that bad, in my opinion.
So I don't find it necessarily boring. I find it to be less impactful when Michael's on screen after the opening scene. I do like the look of Michael. I don't have a problem with Brad Loree as Michael at all. It's just the way that the script works around his character. It doesn't work well.
I can't think of one part in that movie where he's a bad Michael, though, where he shifts weird. I mean, honestly, for what he was told to do, being kicked through the window and then the rest of that crap, like his movements are great, in my opinion.
Something I've never done at all ever is sit down and listen to or watch all the commentaries on all the Halloween films. This version does have the commentary with director Rick Rosenthal and editor Robert A. for not gonna say it. I kind of want to know if they cover any of that, and I feel like this movie gets skipped over in the franchise so much because it is a bottom two of the franchise. It just is. So maybe we should explore that one day.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like you said, like I said about Friday the 13th, like what do you do if you don't do a prequel? Because really, at the end of the day, you want some supernatural psychic stuff, you go for part 7, right? Like if you want some goofy camp stuff, right? Some comedy in your horror, go to 6. You want a good straight up slasher movie, go to 1, go to 2, go to 4. You want some weird like sci-fi, just turn off your brain and watch it. You watch X and have a good time. Like you want something strange and something you don't even understand and something that's way out of left field. You go watch Jason Goes to Hell. You want to watch him go to New York for 5 minutes. You can watch Jason Takes Manhattan. Like Friday the 13th is really great about giving you just weird, different. Like 1 through 4 is very, like 3 is fun, right? 3 has a lot of energy, right? It has more daylight. The characters are very loud. So, but 1 through 4 is very similar-ish.
Yeah.
After that, do what you want. You want a copycat? Like Friday the 13th is like the perfect franchise to like. It just doesn't need anything else because it's just great how it is. Friday the 13th though hasn't had a treatment like Halloween where you reboot it and make a franchise off that reboot. Like it tried with the '09 and it just died out. So I feel like you could have one more shot, redo it completely, tell a new story with Pamela. I mean, not a new story, but new enough to where you feel like these are their own characters and not just a shadow of the original. Or you can do a prequel. Like I think Friday the 13th has a few more avenues, but I also think with like right now we're all experiencing superhero fatigue. I think in the next 3 years, I think you're going to see a dip in horror. And I think the nail in the coffin could either be the Nightmare on Elm Street we're either inevitably going to get, or it could be Scream 5. I think Scream 5, if Scream 5 is a turd at the box office, I think you'll see people just the generic public go away.
Not trying to be
real quick,
negative.
Real quick, we got Jabari in the house. He says, bought special edition Candyman and Black Widow at Best Buy. Nice special edition. Is that the Scream Factory or is that the Steel book? I what's funny is like I bashed Candyman, but I actually just bought the Scream Factory Blu-ray. It's on its way. So now I've got the digital and I got the Scream Factory. They had a sale on Amazon for $9.99. I was like, okay, I got to have this in my collection for $9.99. But Black Widow, I still haven't seen. I know Caleb said it was a good time if you just go into it and relax. Yeah, the Scream Factory, nice, man. Heck yeah, man. I can't wait to see how that looks. I'm assuming my digital version is similar. So sorry, Caleb.
I have to apologize. I'm not getting any of the comments or anything showing up. I honestly think something's going on with my internet and connection. So sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. Jabari just said that he bought Candyman and Black Widow at Best Buy. And he said it was the Scream Factory of Candyman, which that's why I'm saying I just bought it too, and I'll have to. I'm gonna give probably a couple months since I've watched. I've had my fill of Candyman for now. Even though I do like Candyman, I feel like it's one of those movies where I wish I loved it as much as other people. I don't know if I just missed the boat of it, or if I just don't quite 100% get it. The 45-minute mark, I don't like Helen. I think that's what it is. Virginia Madsen or Madsen or whatever you say, I just, for whatever reason, I don't know why I don't like her as an actor. It's crazy, but I don't know.
So
nothing wrong with Black Widow. It was straight. Shang-Chi, on the other hand, yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of good things about Shang-Chi, so I'm glad that Marvel, they're dipping into their lower end. I say lower end, but lesser known characters. So I'm glad that they're having some success with that. But I think Disney's on a slippery slope for as PC as everybody who says that they are. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're being in today's world and they're trying to be respectful. That's fine. That's great. But I think the flavor now. I think that they've already exhausted most of the big characters. So I don't know. And then the other shady stuff, like with the Scarlett Johansson paycheck, with the not releasing some of their stuff on physical media and not going back to the vaults to release some of that stuff. It makes me nervous for the future of physical media from the Disney owned stuff, which is Fox and all this other stuff, Marvel, and so I don't know. Disney is really weird right now, and it's one of those things where they're at a tipping point where you're either people are gonna back you up, or they're gonna go away. And people are just looking for reasons to hate right now. So I think Disney really needs to do a good job on the PR. They need to smash it with Spider-Man, and they need to have some good PR.
I don't know. I'm kind of exhausted by Marvel at the moment. I feel like I'll see Spider-Man. I'm probably not going to see Shang-Chi until it hits Disney Plus, which from what I heard is soon. And then I don't know. I'm not too terribly into the idea of the Eternals. Looks alright. I feel like with the Avengers that we had, they took out the main characters that at least us in our age range were like, those were our heroes. So I feel like we're like, I mean, it sucks that what is it? Is it Fox or Sony right now has Venom and Blade and
Sony.
Ghost Rider and all these characters that could be done right, but they're all going to get the Venom treatment, and I don't care. Venom sucked.
I know.
It was not good.
I completely agree, man. And what really sucks too is actually I think Marvel actually does own Ghost Rider, and it owns the Punisher, and I believe it owns Blade as well. So that kind of sucks, and Disney owns all those anyway. Yeah, the thing like we talked about before is like I just don't buy in any way, shape, or form any Spider-Man, even with the Iron Spider suit. I don't buy for a second that they could go toe to toe with this Venom for 5 minutes. I don't buy it for a second. I think that Venom would get a hold of him and rip him in half in 5 minutes. Like I don't see, like, if you're going to introduce, from what I understand, they're going to introduce Tom Holland Spider-Man at the end of Let There Be Carnage, and I just don't understand. Like this, you're talking about a Spider-Man that like 2 years ago, and I know a lot of stuff happens. He's got the Iron Spidey suit now. He's more of a veteran, but 2 years ago, Captain America knocked him out. Like he couldn't go toe to toe with the Vulture or Captain America, but you're telling me he can go toe to toe with Venom or Carnage?
I guarantee you it's going to be a Batman versus Superman copy and paste.
Yeah. Very possible. I mean, he's going to have to find a weakness quick, because the only thing about Batman versus Superman is the fact that Superman didn't want to kill him. Like, and I'll buy that. Like, you know, for as much as they got away from that, like, Boy Scout 1940s, like, and I love that. I think Superman should be that way. Everything comes to him so easy that he should be a sweetheart. He should have to take the long way there. Like, you know, Batman should have to cut corners. But so that's why I'm just saying I think Henry Cavill could have killed him but didn't have to.
I don't think Eddie Brock is going to want to kill Peter Parker. I just think that, you know, it'll turn into like he's hunting him down. He finds something that scrambles him, and then there's going to be a Martha moment, and then we'll have the credits that introduce another cool character or a plot design, and then that's it. And again, this is why I feel so exhausted, is I know the formula now. Like, it can be hit or miss on a few things. A couple ideas can be bigger or smaller, but I know exactly where we're going. And
yeah. Well, I think it's what sucks too is like you're gonna have to have a moment where Venom, the symbiote, attaches to Spider-Man and then reverses back over to Venom, right? And then you'll get the full-on, like, actual Venom that we've been waiting for, instead of just the symbiote suit on Eddie Brock and Spider-Man removed out of it. I still don't know how you made a Venom movie without Spider-Man. Like, it's just connected. When it was first announced, I was like, this is dumb. Like if you can't have them connected, it's not Venom. It's just its own thing. We'll have to wait and see though. I don't have any faith in it. I'll watch it. I love Woody Harrelson, so I think it's gonna be. I think the sequel will be better than the first movie, but like having it, it's a weird anti-hero. Like he's kind of a good guy, but he's kind of also a d-bag. Like I don't know. It just was a weird feeling. Like, and it wasn't funny enough to
I
be
feel like
a Deadpool.
I feel like they tried to capitalize their character on the concept of Deadpool. They knew that it worked for him, but they weren't willing to go as far.
Right. Well, and it's just not. It just doesn't fit the character as much, right? It's not. Deadpool is funny and quippy and like invincible. Like, I was talking to somebody at work, and he was talking about, and I might have talked about this a couple weeks ago. My bad, but he was talking about what if Venom connected, like if Deadpool and Venom were in the same movie. I was like, yeah, that works. They fight. He gets killed a lot, like, and he just keeps coming back. And then I was like, can you imagine like Deadpool, the symbiote attaching to Deadpool, and that's how they take out Carnage. I was like, just the idea of Deadpool in there is just it meshes very well. If that's what you were going for, double down on it, put him in there. Hang on one second. Jabari, I don't think Tom Holland is going to be in there like that. The trailer came out off where they had a story to tell on their own. Yeah, I mean, if Let There Be Carnage ends with Carnage going away, I hope they don't kill him. Like, I don't know how you contain something like that, but I hope they don't kill him. I hope they do wrap that up and then Spider-Man's in there somehow. Like, I just don't know. It's just weird because it's like Venom's not a bad guy, but he's not a good guy. I just don't know how you intermingle the two. Like,
No.
I don't know what. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
But-
They've got a lot to do. That's their new cash cow is Spider-Man, right? I mean, it's
And Morbius.
dude. I'm all about Morbius.
No.
I like vampire movies.
That
I like Jared
trailer
Leto.
is junk.
Really, I thought the
It's
trailer
gonna be-
looked pretty good.
It's gonna be Venom Part 2. Like it looks. Oh, I have no faith in what's happening there.
Well, but if you put him in there, and then you do like they did with the Spider-Man cartoon, where like Craven is in there, and then you put in the Blade in the Spider-Man universe, you put in Morbius. Like, I don't know. Like, these are really good characters. If they do it right, it could be great. I think Jared Leto's a really good cast, just based on my nostalgia for the '90s cartoon of Spider-Man. So, and I think it could be his redemption. It's either going to be his redemption or this will be the last time people trust. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not a fan, but of what's happening with these.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right, man. Well, this is probably a good spot to call it a night. I would like to watch, I think, 81 next week. We'll have to wait and see
Let's
what
do it.
happens. And then we need to iron out when we are going to see Kills because that needs to happen ASAP.
Yep. Probably won't happen Thursday release day. It'll probably happen the next day.
Let me stop you right there. You went to a concert with your wife, but you can't go see it on release night?
No, I am too old for this. I was too old for last night. I am too old for this.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to end up having to do this with your wife because she's the fun one. She didn't watch horror movies.
Nope. Not at all.
Mine doesn't really either. I can get a few things like werewolves, zombies, that passes. Couple like real life scenario kind of things, but like when it comes to like supernatural ripping your head off, like nah, she's like, nah, I'm good. Like witches and stuff like that. Yeah.
Tanya will watch like Zombieland or Shaun of the Dead or
Oh,
stuff like
Shaun of the
that.
Dead. So good.
But nothing that's legit horror.
Yeah. Yeah. So when she watched, she probably wouldn't watch The Exorcist, right?
Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I always try to get like 2 or 3 horror movies in there with her in October, just because tis the season, right? Like usually I can get around 2 or 3 out of her. But anyway, guys, yeah, stick with us. Maybe next week we will watch 81's Halloween. God, I love that movie. So we'll have to take a look at that. I also will get the 1978 uploaded soon. So hopefully we'll get up to more videos soon. Life is just kicking both our butts. We're getting old,
Yeah.
and our kids are even interrupting our special time. So,
For
but
what time?
special time. This is the highlight of my week, man. But anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Jabari, you take care, bud. Let me know if you watch that Shout Factory or Scream Factory, and then how good it is. Let me know. I want to know. Caleb, you don't have it. Do you have it on the Blu-ray, or you have it on DVD?
No.
That's right. You bought the
DVD.
DVD. That's right. You bought the DVD, and then like 2 weeks later they came out, and you paid like
With the
20 some
two-
odd dollars. You poor bastard. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry to bring that back up again. My bad. My fault. But anyway, guys, we'll see you later. Good night.
Night, everybody.